The Academy Awards, otherwise known as White People's Choice Awards.
Now you gotta watch where you sit, everybody. You got the Olsen twins over there, so then you gotta put R. Kelly way up there. What is wrong with these white kids shooting up the school? They don't even wait till 3 o'clock either. Should gays be allowed to marry?
From the 1990s all the way to today, Chris Rock has built a career on saying things most people wouldn't dare to say out loud. About race, about power, about celebrities, and even about real-world fears. And through all of it, there's one thing he almost never does. He doesn't apologize. So the question isn't just, what did Chris Rock say? It's, why does he stand by it?
Now how you gonna tell little kids to not get high when the man's on crack? Don't get high, it won't be nothing. I could be mad.
To understand Chris Rock's controversy, you have to go back to the moment he truly found his voice. In 1996, during his HBO special Bring the Pain, Chris Rock delivered a routine that would become one of the most talked about and debated moments in stand-up comedy history.
A lot of racism going on in the world right now. Who's more racist, black people or white people?
In that routine, he didn't just tell jokes. He made sharp distinctions within the black community, using exaggerated language and humor to criticize behavior he believed was holding people back. Some people saw it as bold, even necessary. Others saw it as damaging, arguing that it reinforced stereotypes rather than challenged them. But what mattered most wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. Chris Rock wasn't trying to be polite, he was trying to be honest, even if that honesty made people uncomfortable. And that became the foundation of his entire career.
Alimony, that's what made O.J. crack. Paying that big-ass alimony, he ain't scored a touchdown in 20 years. So you gotta think about O.J.'s situation. $25,000 a month, another man driving around his car and his wife, and a house he's still paying a mortgage on. Now, I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand.
As Chris Rock's platform grew, so did the scale of his commentary. By the time he stepped onto the stage at the Academy Awards in 2016, he wasn't just a comedian anymore. He was a voice speaking directly to Hollywood.
No black nominees, And people are like, Chris, you should boycott. Chris, you should quit. You should quit. It's not about boycotting anything. It's just, we want opportunity. We want the black actors to get the same opportunities as white actors. That's it.
During that opening monologue, Chris Rock addressed the lack of diversity in the industry, calling attention to who gets recognized, who gets excluded, and how the system itself operates. Some viewers applauded him, saying he used humor to speak truth to power. Others felt it was too direct, too uncomfortable, especially for a stage meant to celebrate the industry.
I mean, Chris got his message across. It was all good. Everybody understood what he was saying and how he was saying it, and it was fun.
It's more about the industry making a stand than the Academy. It's got to come from the bottom, hasn't it?
Well, it has to come from the people who cast. And it's not just casting black actors, it's Asian actors and Hispanic actors. It's not just one thing. It's a change has to happen, and it either will or it won't.
It's very complex. In the middle of a ceremony that is a celebration, that is not a meeting, that is not to do what he has done. Some people may be hurt by what he said, he put the finger in the wound. Eventually, he made us laugh. Eventually, sometimes everybody was like, oh my God, is he going too far? But in the overall, I think he solved very well the situation. It was not easy.
But moments like this weren't new for him. In an earlier interview following a different wave of controversy, he made it clear that public reaction didn't necessarily change his approach.
The controversy never really affected me. I didn't really think about it.
And this is where Chris Rock's comedy becomes even more complex, because he doesn't just talk about celebrities or Hollywood, he also pulls from real-world issues, including topics that many people consider too sensitive to joke about. In one routine, Chris Rock makes a statement about fear, specifically referencing how certain real-world events have shaped who people feel safe around and who they don't.
I am scared of young white boys. If you white and under 21, I am running for the hill. What the hell is wrong with these white kids up to school? They don't even wait till 3 o'clock either.
The joke uses exaggeration and irony, but it's built on something real, on actual events that have shaped public perception and fear. And that's where the discomfort comes in. Because the audience isn't just laughing, they're also recognizing the truth underneath the joke. And for some people, that truth feels too heavy to laugh at.
You don't need no gun control. You know what you need? We need some bullet control. I think all bullets should cost $5,000. You know why? People will think before they kill somebody if a bullet costs $5,000. Man, I would blow your head off if I could afford it.
Then came 2022, the moment that brought Chris Rock's style of comedy into a completely different kind of spotlight. On stage, at the Academy Awards, Chris Rock made a quick joke about Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
At first, it felt like just another passing moment, the kind of joke comedians have made for decades, and not the first time he had referenced her on that stage.
Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
But even with that history, what happened next was different. Within seconds, everything changed.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
I'm going to, okay?
The reaction involving Will Smith turned that joke into a global conversation, not just about comedy, but about limits, respect, and consequences.
Greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
After that moment, public reaction was immediate and divided. Many people placed the blame on Will Smith, pointing out that regardless of the joke, the response crossed a line. In the weeks that followed, Will Smith issued a public apology, acknowledging his actions.
Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
But at the same time, there was also a growing expectation placed on Chris Rock that maybe he would acknowledge that this particular joke went too far. But he didn't. Instead, Chris Rock responded the way he always has, on stage, through comedy.
It happened. I got smacked like a year ago. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears.
In his 2023 special, Selective Outrage, Chris Rock addressed the situation directly, not with a formal apology, but with jokes, perspective, and critique. Throughout the special, he reflects on the moment, the reaction that followed, and what he sees as the inconsistency in how people respond to different situations. He leans into the idea that outrage is often selective, that certain actions spark massive reactions, while others are overlooked, depending on who's involved. And instead of stepping back from the joke, he doubles down on his approach and continues addressing the moment through comedy, including more direct jokes about both Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Everybody that really knows I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't have any entanglements. His wife was her son's friend, okay?
From that, it suggests to viewers that comedy for him has often been about saying what he sees as true, even when it makes people uncomfortable. And in that sense, his response wasn't an apology. It was a continuation of the same approach that has defined his career from the very beginning.
She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay?
Again, in his 2023 special, Selective Outrage, Chris Rock also joked about Meghan Markle, questioning her claims about experiencing racism within the royal family.
Meghan Markle complaining, acting all dumb like she don't know nothing. Going on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family!
The joke drew mixed reactions. Some viewers interpreted it as commentary on how different people define and experience racism, while others felt it minimized the seriousness of her claims.
Is Hollywood racist? You're damn right Hollywood's racist.
Going back to the 2016 Academy Awards, a segment involving Asian children, presented as accountants as part of a joke, quickly drew criticism. Chris Rock brought 3 children of East Asian descent onto the stage, dressed in tuxedos and holding briefcases, introducing them as the dedicated, accurate, and hard-working accountants from PricewaterhouseCoopers. He gave them names such as Ming Zhu, Bao Ling, and David Moskowitz, playing on stereotypes about Asians being associated with math and technical work. He further joked, stating, "If anybody's upset about that joke, just tweet about it on your phone that was also made by these kids," a reference to child labor in Asia.
This type of stereotype that Asian Americans are all hardworking and smart is being normalized, and it's something that people have learned to laugh about without really thinking about the consequences of what these stereotypes may mean for Asian Americans.
The moment drew immediate criticism from viewers and advocacy groups, who argued that the joke relied on outdated stereotypes and conflicted with the broader conversation about diversity and representation that surrounded the ceremony that year. In response to the backlash, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences issued a statement acknowledging the concerns raised. They expressed regret that parts of the telecast had caused offense and indicated a commitment to being more culturally sensitive moving forward. The moment stood in contrast to the larger message of the night, highlighting just how complicated the line between comedy and offense can be, even on the biggest stage. And outside of stand-up, his humor has also sparked controversy. In 2019, Chris Rock faced backlash over a social media post referencing the late singer Whitney Houston and her past struggles with addiction. He shared an image of Houston using a popular meme format at the time, adding a caption that many felt made light of her struggles. The post was widely criticized as being in poor taste, drawing strong reactions from fans and from people close to her. Among them was her ex-husband Bobby Brown, who responded publicly, calling out the post and expressing his disappointment. Chris Rock has faced criticism for years, and not everyone agrees with him. Some believe his jokes cross the line. Others believe that line is exactly what he's supposed to challenge. And that tension is something that's followed him throughout his career, walking the line between laughter and discomfort, truth and offense, freedom and consequence.
Another movie nobody wanted to make was the big religious movie, Passion of the Christ. I will trade you Passion of the Christ for Soul Plane any day of the week, okay? At least they make movies for white people to enjoy. Real movies with plots, with actors, not rappers, with real names, like Catch Me If You Can, like Saving Private Ryan. Black movies don't have real names. You get names like Barbershop. That's not a name, that's just a location.
At the end of the day, Chris Rock's career hasn't been built on playing it safe or trying to be universally liked. Instead, it's been shaped by a willingness to say things that divide opinion and to stand by that approach, even when the reaction is strong. And whether people agree with him or not, that consistency is a big part of why his voice continues to stand out. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Chris Rock goes too far sometimes? Or is that exactly what makes his comedy powerful? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps push this video out to more people. And don't forget to subscribe to Hollywood Zoomed In, because we're breaking down Hollywood, one story at a time.